Okay, I think we are live. Waiting on Dennis, and then we'll get going. What's up, Jason Rockenberg? How you doing, bud? Thanks for hopping in. We're just waiting on Dennis being late.
You know, oh, that was awesome. I caught you just in time. I love it when I hear later on about the snide remarks you give.
Never mind that it just admitted you saw you coming in, but whatever.
That's funny.
Welcome.
I need to get my stuff in gear too.
Do what?
I thought my microphone and headset were already set up and they're not. They're going to the default.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Quit breaking stuff, man. I
You
just
know, it's that Gen X thing, right?
sorry. Of course, my child would wake up as soon as we start. So, all right. We got Austin White here. Hello, Austin. How are you doing, bud? Let's see. Not too bad. Jason says, I recommend you try to keep Dennis from violating any more community standards. Yes. Keep him on a short leash.
You know what I got to say about that? Let me just.
Are you there?
Yeah, you didn't see what I did?
No, I was
That's
clicking.
so funny. It's probably good that you didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody else did. They know what I did.
Austin's growing his beard. I just shaved mine today. I was getting tired of it. Yeah, so those of you
Just
that,
grew it.
if any, yeah, I'll probably grow it back again. Hey, hello, Oscar. Any of you that don't know, so our Facebook page on Facebook, it got taken down for continued community standard violations, which is odd because on that same page it says you got taken down for continued violations, but it says good news, you have no violations. and so,
Yeah, I know.
and there's no record of any violations. So it's kind of something's up. I think it's something with their algorithm or something. Hopefully, but I still have not. I put in a pill, still have not heard anything back. So we'll just see. Oh, I
Yeah,
remember what I
for
was doing now.
and
Okay.
I think this always happens when I get on with the book of faces, the messenger. Oh man.
What we talking about?
My my headset's not Bluetoothing.
Oh, we'll fix it. Bluetooth it.
Um, I'm working on that. It's not recognizing the Bluetooth for some reason.
All right. I'm posting a link to the summit that we'll be hosting. Most of you are members, so you probably have already heard about it, but I'm going to go ahead and post it anyway. Zach Smith, what's up, Zach? Man, we've been wondering about you. Haven't seen you in a while. There, pin the message. There we are. All right.
I know that's. I was talking to him on Messenger earlier, and it's like visiting with a long lost friend. We've all been doing this for a while now, and it's like we expect to see each other, and that's kind of how everybody was because of our sicknesses and all that kind of stuff. Our reasons for not coming on, and they were kind of feeling the same thing. It's like, man, going through withdrawals.
What's crazy is really it was only we we met the first week of March. We missed the second week. Third week we did the members only live.
Right.
Maybe it was like the last week of April. But either way, Like we didn't meet last week. We met the week before, so it's only really been a week since we had our last one, but it feels a lot longer.
Right, right. Yeah, that's it does feel longer than it really has been.
Yeah, yeah.
Excuse me, I'm looking for my microphone, my Bluetooth devices.
So I've got some good feedback from some brothers on the Kyle Walquest episode. So that's exciting. If you have not listened to it yet, it's good, and I know I kind of probably obligated to say that, but how do I put this? Because we've had lots of good interviews, and I've enjoyed all of them, right? But sometimes you're listening to an interview, and even though you were there, you're like, man, this is really good. This is some good stuff. That Kyle's one of those guys. Usually, if you're talking to him, because we had another episode with him before, and I remember going through the editing process, like, man, this is really good. I really like listening to this.
Right.
Same thing with this one. It's good, and so Kyle's going to be our keynote speaker at the summit. And I mean, if you don't know Kyle, or if you just want to know kind of what he's going to sound like or how it's going to go listen to the episode. And I
Yeah.
uploaded, and usually what I'll do is we'll record like an hour and a half, and I'll trim it down and make it more concise for the non-members. But what I did this time is I don't think I trimmed like some quiet off the front.
Right.
I didn't take anything out of this one. So I mean,
Yeah.
the members still have the ad-free version because I still want them to have something, right? But there's no exclusive content. Like the whole hour and a half is out there for everybody. And
Yeah, as it should be, because there's so many. Because like he said at the beginning of the interview, there's so many people that don't really know him like we know him. They don't know his credentials. They don't know his background and why he's so effective at what he speaks on, and why it comes from really a place of uh, of solid expertise. And so they really get a chance to see, this we don't need to make his head any bigger. I mean, the man's got his own bobblehead, but but no, they really get to see, how good of a speaker and intelligent data analyst he is.
mhm.
And more than that, how keen he is on the marketing aspect to channel uh to make that data look the way it needs to look for corporations. And so if he can do it for them, he certainly has good insight on doing it for us
Yes.
as Freemasons, as in our lodges.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut off real quick and try to jump back on. I don't know why my Bluetooth didn't connect with my headset, but I really don't like having to yell uh into my laptop. And so I know you'll probably not want to hear me speaking later on, but I'd like to be able to speak later on. So
Well, darn it. Okay.
uh, it's every time I try to do it with, I had this down, but then, in
Okay.
angst, you
Go
you jumped onto Messenger instead of.
go get fixed. Go get fixed. I hope they fix you. Um, by the way, while we're kind of in this lull, we have about 8-9 viewers and 4 likes. So I would ask if you're viewing and if you're enjoying it so far, or if you just generally feel inclined to do so, please go ahead and smash that like button just so you can keep up. And be sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed also. Alfredo Istic. Welcome, Alfredo. Let's see. Dan Best. Hello, Dan Best. Sorry if I missed some of y'all. I was gonna show this real quick. I think I've showed this before, but oh gosh, come on. Can you come in a little better? No, it's not coming in very well. So this is actually one of my favorite coins. This was given to me by Jamie Starrett when I went to speak at his lodge a couple months ago. And I keep it by my desk. I just haven't put it with my collection yet. but I always kind of find myself fiddling with it when we're talking and stuff, just because I really like the all-seeing eye. There we go. Well, it's coming and going. But yeah, if you are in East Texas and Mount Pleasant is within traversing distance, definitely go check out Temple Lodge because you might get one of these cool coins. But it's also a great lodge. I thoroughly enjoyed it, even though it was like a 3-hour one-way trip. It was like a 6-hour round trip to go there and back. Hello, Johnny Jarvis. Good to see you, brother. Scott Bratson. Hello. Austin White says, Justin, how's Star treating you? Star's treating me well so far. We did 2 days of testing last week, and then we got 2 more days this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. So I think we'll be done at the middle school level after that. It's my first time doing Star, especially at the middle school level. I'm not sure what all. I know I teach science, so I worry about the science test. I don't really keep up with all the other tests, but I think there's a total of 4. And yeah, we'll be done. So I don't mind it. I mean, it's easy lesson planning for that day. We'll put it that way. So it's good times. Let's see, Dennis has not come back. Always breaking things. Johnny, I think it's been a while since I've seen you, man. It's good to have you back on here. So anyway, Dennis is back, so we have to. Oh, he's back already. Never mind. Is it working now?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good. It's about time. Jeez, Dad.
I know. Everybody waiting on me.
Yep.
So how is everybody? Glad to see you. Glad to hear about you. Glad to hear everybody's okay.
We're all good.
Man, it's been a crazy week. But I want to give a shout out to Worshipful Austin White for his retirement from his service in the military, and we're grateful for all that you've done for the U.S. and I'm even more grateful that what you're going to do next for our veterans that come home that need help transitioning back into the workforce and back into life in general. So, man, my hat's off to you. We love you and we appreciate all you do. And I just wanted to say that with the support of everybody that's online with us right now, so they know that we all love you. So I wanted to put that out there.
Yes, thank you, Austin.
What?
Nothing at all. I asked everyone, all the viewers, to give us a like real quick. And Jason says, I gave a... Did you leave?
No, I'm here.
That's weird.
I'm just not talking.
Oh, okay, because I was... never mind. Don't worry about it. That's my fault. I was looking at something. But anyway, so I asked the viewers to give us a like if they were enjoying the video. And Jason says, I gave it a like and I was enjoying the video. The Dennis came back online.
Thank you, Brother Reichenberg.
Yes.
You don't even have to tell me who that is. I know exactly who it is.
Zach Smith says, ask how long I've been teaching for. I started teaching 2014, and then I took a 3-year break, 19, and 20, and 21. Yeah, I minimized. I'm sorry, I fixed that, I think. But I took a 3-year break to do financial advising, and then that would just. I mean, I was really good at it, and I was very talented at doing that, but it wasn't teaching. Long story short, like I'm an educator. I like to be interacting with people on a regular basis, and so I don't know, man. It was about springtime last year, yeah, and the bug just hit me because usually when I was teaching in spring, that'd be like when UIL season. UIL in Texas is like it's like football and stuff, but I was focused on the academic side. We had academic competitions, and spring would be about the time like you start going to state and going to Austin and things like that. And so I'm driving on 35 and it's spring. You like see the flowers and everything. It's like, man, I really miss working with the kids and like competing and going to state and teaching and stuff. And I don't know if you watched The Market, but it was as good as time as any to leave. So that's what I
Right.
did. And so it's been, long story short, this is probably year 7, I believe, of teaching, and I enjoy it, man. I'm actually certified. I have a master's degree. And I'm certified to do like principal stuff. I don't even see myself doing that. I don't think it's worth the. I don't think personally that it's worth all the hassle, because you get into so
All the
much
stress,
more,
yeah.
well, it's so much more stress, and there's so much more legal stuff you have to be mindful of, and now you're juggling parents, and really this the aspect that I enjoy teaching the most for, the student interactions, that the that goes away. Like all your student interactions are now negative as a principal.
Yeah, it becomes a PR with the community at that point. You
Yeah.
know, that's really what principal is. The assistant principal is the only one that deals with kids, and it's all the bad stuff.
Yeah, but
Principal has to deal with, yeah.
you gotta
Go
work
ahead.
your way up, right? You can't just jump at the principal in most schools, so you gotta start with assistant principal. And I mean, I did assistant principal for a year, and I just did not like it. It was not a good fit, and it's not, the extra money
Yeah.
is not worth the stress. So
Yeah, I wouldn't like it either if you don't get to have a paddle anymore.
yeah,
Golly. You know,
I'll keep
what's
my
funny
mouth shut
is,
about that.
yeah, right. When
I don't
I
want to
was in
violate any
middle,
community standards.
I know, right? When I was in middle school, my assistant principal was an ex-coach, and he was pretty bulky, and here I am, this young, just really pissant of a thug, and I went in and I had to get licks, and all it took was one, man. He hit me once, and I actually lunged forward and hit my head on the wall, and it's like, damn, I don't I don't need that anymore.
You haven't been the same
I
since.
I waited until high school to where they just kicked me out of school for a while.
Man, that's funny.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's when you start looking forward to in-school suspension because you just don't want that battle, man. That was
So what's on your mind tonight, Dennis? What would you like to really roll with on this?
I don't know. I would like to think about some of the positive things of Freemasonry that I really love. You know, one of them is of course the education aspect. It's one of my very favorite things in Freemasonry, and not just for the sake of diving into all these books and everything, but really the time well spent with brothers, just talking philosophy and just, really putting yourself out there. Because, face it, you can't do that at work. And that's where you spend most of your time in your day is at work, and at home you got to come home and be the parent to the kids and all that. You don't get to really, it's almost like what I could equate it to is when you first met your wife or whatever, when you're first dating and you're sitting there looking at the stars or whatever, and you're just talking about things. And that's kind of what you get when you start going into the philosophy and the rabbit holes of Freemasonry, and you kind of get that bonding with your brothers doing that. And that's one of my favorite things in Freemasonry. And I'm curious as to how the rest of the listeners feel about that as well, because I know you love it as well, but we really don't get enough time to do it. But I'm curious as to what they feel about that as well, since they're on with us live.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things, anyways. While we're waiting, what do you think?
So, what I love about Freemasonry,
Yeah, what's your favorite? I mean, what really gets you pumped?
I like being part of something bigger. And I guess it's multiple things. I do have the family history, right? My dad and my granddad have both been raised. I mean, they're both My granddad's passed away, but my dad's still alive. But they're both master masons, and so I have that family legacy, which I'm proud of, and I want to continue. However, I think it's being part of something that's big, and something that's old, something that the things
Right.
that we do now will outlive us with Freemasonry, right? Which is why, I mean, that's why Masonic Improvement's here, because it's something that's big and it's old and it's long lasting, but we made it so frivolous, right? But those are the things that I love, and I think, excuse me, and I think those are the things that we need to cultivate. Jason Rockenberg says, I do a lot of work for several different Masonic bodies, and I enjoy it, but yeah, I really look forward to taking a break when I go to AMD, Scottish Rite, CME, Continuing Masonic Education.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in that together. Yeah, that's some special moments there. It really is.
Zach Smith says, speaking of violating community standards, when is the next members only Zoom? We should do another one pretty soon. I don't know for sure when we'll do it, but we will do another one soon. And
yeah, we've got someone attentively scheduled for Wednesday, so it may be the following.
Yeah, the biggest issue right now with coordinating that, because usually how we would coordinate the members only stuff is we would communicate it out through Zoom, right? And then we communicate it out through Facebook.
Through Facebook, yes.
And send people to the members only link on YouTube. But we can't really do that right now with Facebook. I will say, let's do this.
We're considering opening up MySpace just for us.
Something where we can communicate better. What I will do is we do still have the Quarry, which has been underused. However,
I was thinking about that today also.
However, it is still there and it is still set up. So in the past, I kept it like Masons only. I don't know that it really has to be. I think the role of that can change.
I was thinking it could change even more private and make it members only. Well, and have the Masonic Improvement page just for advertising events for us, and that's it. And then our thoughts go to the members.
Well, the thing I like about having the page is people can share stuff, right?
Right.
That's how you get the word out. If things go viral, they get shared. I don't know. Like
right.
we have the Quarry. I was thinking
maybe we should make a members only.
Well, yeah, I was thinking we'd have the Quarry and we use that for communication for now, and then I'll make a inner circle group.
Yeah.
The issue really with that is members come and go, right? And there's no, I don't get a notification when someone leaves the membership, and I don't get a notification when they join. So keeping up, and furthermore, if you go to YouTube and you look at your membership roles, it doesn't tell you who left either. So keeping up with who's coming and going could be problematic.
Yeah, that could be tough.
It just depends on how strict you want to be about it. It could just be once we find out they're not a member anymore. Yeah, you need to go.
Then take them off. Yeah.
So I'm gonna share a link right now for the Quarry. Jason Rockenberg's already come. Where on earth is the? One second.
Yeah, and usually every time we post something, it posts to the Quarry also. So anytime we post anything Masonic Improvement, we attach it to the Quarry as well.
Yeah.
So you get it there as well. So if that's your main source, then that'll be okay too. You'll still get it.
Did you already let Jason Rockenberg in? Oh, Dennis?
Maybe.
No, I mean he just requested, and I don't see him showing up. Anyway,
oh, no, I didn't.
Here's the link. A Masonic Improvement Tinder. Yeah, we'll do a Masonic Improvement OnlyFans. How about that? Here's a link for the Quarry. And okay, Zach says that he found out about the Zooms. He found out through YouTube. I personally, I'm on YouTube a lot. I don't usually see people's posts, like the people I subscribe to. Which is why I also post on Facebook. But if you're seeing it on YouTube, that's great. that makes it simpler. But for now, we'll use the query because I'll be honest. I know that there's no reason why the Facebook page should be taken down, but I'm not confident that
You never know.
you never know. I mean, we're talking about a group for a members only for a male only organization on a very progressive platform. So
Right.
I'm
What's
not-
funny?
Yeah, I don't have high expectations. If it comes back, then great. We'll just move on like we did. But if not, then we'll just keep it to the query and everything so far.
What's funny is that, the very first thing when you get that message and you go down to look at the community standards, because you're thinking, well, what did I do? I mean, they don't tell you what you did. It's just blanket community standards. And then there's these 10 standards, and then there's 20 different standards under that within that, that's the main group. And then there's all these subgroups, and then but the very first one says our priority is freedom of speech. It's like, oh,
Place where
really?
everybody feels welcome and
Yes.
It's like, oh,
yes. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
So that's and that leads to another thing, brothers. All you brothers that depend on Facebook for your platform to get the word out to the world, that's rented space, buddy. You do not own that property. I've said it a million times. Unless you have a website and you start channeling things properly to your website to where you can control your content, it's rented space, so it can go at any time.
That's 100%.
And that's the facts.
That's really
the
what it comes
facts.
down to. Like if Facebook's like, yeah, well, screw you. We're just not going to let you have it. We really
Right.
have no recourse, right?
Yeah. And they don't even have to say why.
No. And
They
so,
just
fortunately,
you're gone.
we're pretty spread out. Like we got Facebook, but we're also on. I post on Reddit pretty regularly, and not on MySpace, but also I post on Twitter a lot. I don't know how many people come in from Twitter, but we also have the podcast too. So we're diversified, but it's probably time to look at further diversification.
Yeah, we really need to get serious about our platform.
Yeah, Zach Smith says
it's
he's going
time
to make
to
a website for us. Zach, I'm going to send you a link to the website we have so far. You'll see. I'm not a professional, and I made it myself. And it's like an old lawnmower that's held together with duct tape and baling wire. So it is time. It is time for us to go ahead and get it branded with our brand. Get everything flowing with the same brand and start thinking about that brand recognition, because we are, like with the summit, this is a big deal. Yep.
And we're looking at doing this in more places than just Texas in the future. And in doing that, it's better to have your own identity on the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, I mean, based off, I kind of thought about it, but hearing it from Kyle kind of got me thinking again. Really, there's no reason this couldn't grow into something that's nationwide, right? I mean, the YouTube's already nationwide and the podcast, but as far as
it's worldwide, but I'd like to,
the summits and whatever else comes from that. I mean, we're talking about some video stuff we're looking at doing. There's no reason that we shouldn't have this more tight, if that makes sense. Like as far as like the website and all these things.
Yeah, and Zach, if you want to do that, then I'll get with you and talk to you about what I've done and with my lodges and stuff, and talk about kind of what I'd like to see in continuity with different things like email servers, things like that.
Yeah, he says
so that we have.
He says he'd be able to make one from scratch with members only login and stuff like that. Why don't you have that conversation with him and we'll see where we can go from there, because I agree wholeheartedly. It is time to. When I started Masonic Improvement, right, it was videos recorded on my cell phone, free WordPress site.
It looked like you were in like in a you had wood back behind you.
Oh, like forest?
No, it looked like it was just a
yeah. We had an old storage shed, and
particle board. That's what it would look like.
I ran internet to it, and I had a AC unit in the window right next to my head for summer.
Somebody must have saw that video and said, that guy, he's out there. He's probably got a gun and he's going somewhere.
So it's time to level that up, right? It's time to.
He just took the flags down. That's
yeah. But I agree. It is time to level up.
But that's awesome. We all have our beginnings, right?
Jason says he gives Dennis a hard time, but he spent 8 hours in a hot sun selling Fiesta medals to raise money for the Scottish Rite Learning Center. Good job, Dennis. Good job.
No, I got to give my hats off to Jason because he was there 2 days. I was just there 1 day.
Hey,
and I was...
Just take the compliment, man. How often does Jason compliment you? Just take it.
This is true.
Just
take the win.
The compliment. Gosh. I'm sorry, Jason. I try. Adam Olivier.
I try to be humble. He won't let me.
Adam Olivier. Good to have you.
Hey, Adam, how are you, brother?
Good to see you, sir.
We're talking about, Adam, since you just joined, we're talking about the things that we love about Freemasonry.
Yep.
My favorite thing is philosophy and talking with the brothers and just hanging out and just having those intimate discussions and knowing that we're on the level and we part by the square, right? So it's a good, safe place for you to have those conversations. And then, Justin is stoked about, his family heritage and proud to be part of this old, rich in tradition, history, and I am too. Don't get me wrong. I'm super proud. But
that's not what you said. It's too late.
But
you can't piggyback off my
favorite.
Stuff. You can't piggyback off
so not only were we wanting to talk amongst ourselves, but we wanted to hear from the listeners what their favorite things are about Freemasonry. I mean, I don't care if it's a fish fry. If your favorite thing is a fish fry, okay, it's your favorite thing. I don't care. It's to each his own. But those are our favorite things. Those are the things we think of. Jason's is. Go ahead. I was going to say Jason's is philosophy as well. He does a lot, but his is the education and philosophy as well.
Scott says, I'm looking on Facebook real quick. He said it was a kick-ass episode. He's talking about the video we made. Scott Bratson, who's also here. So definitely appreciate you listening to it, Scott. Appreciate your feedback. And
yes, thank you, brother.
Scott actually reached out to me with a suggestion for a interview down the road. And it sounds really good. So we'll be talking about that. We're going to go through all of the summit, because we're not done with the summit. We're just yes, Kyle's a keynote, but he's not the last speaker we're going to announce. So once we go through all of that, then we will we'll be looking at non-summit conversations once again.
And here's the cool thing is that there's only a few people that can really follow a keynote after an announcement, right? And these people can follow the keynote because they're strong enough in their own right to be able to follow the keynote. So that's what I'm excited about. Yeah. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. And he's, Kyle is an awesome keynote, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, Scott Bratson said they had a good night with a past masters dinner last night, and I saw that on Facebook.
That is awesome.
I like that idea a lot. It'd be really good. We're going to, for the chapter and council in Hillsboro, we are going to have a basically it's just going to be like a family banquet. And so we did it in last year around Christmas. And it's a York Rite, like chapter and council event, but anybody can come, right? Because wives and kids can come, or potential York Rite members, like we can invite them too. and we're gonna be doing that close to St. John's Day. I think we have a room scheduled for the 23rd. That's the closest we can get to it in Hillsboro. So just piggybacking off that, I mean, dinners are great. That's a great idea, and I really like the idea of just doing like a past masters dinner.
Yeah, I'd like to touch on that too. You know, I've recommended in the past for um, at the officer leadership training. I've recommended it to the new guys, the senior wardens that are going to become masters. Before you become master, have a past masters dinner and talk to them about what's worked and what hasn't worked. You know, what's the vision of your lodge? What can be a just basically what can be improved upon, and get the buy-in of your past masters on the vision and the goals and your goals as well, and give them that footprint before you take it to the craft, and then you have a lot more support going forward.
Well, often with past masters, they're done and we're like, okay, go out the door, be Tyler. You know, we don't really want to hear your thoughts, and it's usually one extreme or the other. Either the past master won't shut up, or he feels like we're just pushing him aside, right? But having an opportunity like what you're talking about, where you're having the dinner, give them a chance for feedback. You know, how'd it go your year? You may have people show up that don't usually come, and they suddenly feel like, hey, this guy actually cares about my thoughts and my opinions, and provides a time and place for us to have these conversations. So you may even get some past masters coming back, showing interest again.
Well, and it becomes more focused, and you get less of the harsh backlash after you present something, and you get more of the I can help with this, or these couple over here say, man, that's a great idea, I can help with that. And this guy over here says, well, that's not really my gig, but I can help you with this. Mm-hmm. And so, you can get that kind of, you can kind of channel the flow of the dinner and keep the focus on the future and not so much on the past, but make them a part of it instead of shuffling them out the door, because they are our mentor generation. And they are valuable to the craft. Yeah. And we can't forget that. We bitch about them a lot, but we can't forget that.
Yeah. It's about balance, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Jason says, we have our York Rat dinners once a quarter at the Seguin Elks Lodge, and now the Exalted Ruler has asked how he can join the Guadalupe Lodge. Very cool. Yeah. I mean, dinners don't sound like a big deal, but people enjoy it. Right, it's a chance, really any chance you have to visit with your brothers outside of a lodge setting makes a big difference, in my opinion.
Yes, and having other people serve you so that you're not focused on that, you're just focused on the conversation.
Yeah, if you look at like any organization, like the Rotary or Lions, like if I only see the Lions at the Lions Club, we're acquaintances, right? But really what we are is we're fellow Lions. If I go to a lodge and the only time I associate with these people is at the lodge, sure, we're brothers, right, in word, but the only time we associate together is at lodge. So we're both members, we're both Masons. But once you start doing things outside of that environment, that's when you start becoming friends in a lot of cases. In fact, my best friends in Freemasonry, we've all done a lot of things outside the lodge, and that's why it's important, I think, to have these things that take you outside the lodge, because now you're building in a different environment. You're talking about something else besides changing the lights or the fish fry or something, or you should be, and so it gives you a chance to build those stronger bonds.
It should definitely be about something different than the maintenance of the lodge.
Yeah, I mean, you could still have a dinner, and you could do like last year for the Christmas thing I was talking about. We gave some awards away, right? Like I can't remember it's the equivalent of the Golden Child for chapter council. Their names are slipping my mind right now, but we gave some of those away at the dinner. So you can still have some Masonic stuff, but I would even have like a presentation or something. But at the end of the day,
Right.
like you're still having different conversations as you would be if you're just sitting in the lodge.
You have a presentation that's what's the word, congruent to your goal for the discussion.
Mhm.
You have a presentation that's going to lead into that and get people already churning on those thoughts as you go into the discussion.
Yes.
That's the beauty of presentations, and that's what they should be for, and not just to stand up in lodge and give your 5-minute presentation and then sit down. It should be a discussion starter, right?
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, it just has to be appropriate. Like if you're doing family and friends, I mean, you don't want to talk about the secrets of the master's degree with wives and children, there.
Right.
But you can still have like, so for the York Rite example, it was open to any Mason. Like you didn't have to be York Rite Mason, but the idea being that hey, once they see what fun we have, maybe they'll want to join. You can still have an education presentation about the history of York Rite or the value that it offers, or the link between Blue Lodge and chapter and council or something like that. So like you said, you just have to tailor it to the goal and who's there. Scott Bratson says, what also helps is talk to your lodge secretary about an upcoming year. Secretaries are usually there for multiple years and offer good insight. I would even go a step further than that. And I was talking to some of the guys in my jurisdiction, and what we're going to do is we're going to have a planning session. And what that will entail is we're going to take all the officers that are going into the big three next year, and we're going to get a big paper calendar like you put on the desk, and we're going to put all the dates on this calendar for the Masonic year. So all the lodge meeting dates, all the other lodge meeting dates in the district, all the important Grand Lodge dates, officer leadership, forums, all the important information we have. And then we're going to designate certain days for like, hey, this is the day every month that we're going to do degrees. This month we want to do a fundraiser. You don't have to go to specifics. You can just say, hey, in March we're going to do a fundraiser. I'm going to put together a fundraiser committee. They just need to report back what we're doing for March. And that's why it's important to have the secretary there, because the secretary could also give you important dates like, hey, we need to talk about scholarships at this meeting so we can start getting things rolling. We need to start talking about like the audit, because the audit has to be in by this date, so we need to start talking about it at this meeting. And you have it all laid out. And then once you have it all laid out, you could do it electronically, right? You can put an electronic form and share it to everybody in the lodge or whatever. But by planning your entire year out, you're solid. And once you have that, that's a good template, yes, for future officers. So once the Worship Master is done, he can hand that template to the incoming Worship Master, because a lot of dates don't change a whole lot, right? And they can
make sure you have all the Grand Lodge things on there first.
Yes, put all the Grand Lodge things on there first. You need to prioritize things like Grand Lodge and
Blue Lodge is important, but Grand Lodge is who you're a member of. Your charter comes from Grand Lodge. You should be paying respect to the things that Grand Lodge has going on.
But you also need to prioritize like forums, and I would even say officer leadership training. You don't have to have every officer leadership training in the state of Texas on there, but if you are in like Central Texas, put like the ones that are close by, and by being sure you put those on there, you make that a priority, because it's there
for your lodge.
Yeah. And so the officers see, hey, this is important enough to put it on there. It's something I probably need to go to.
Yes. Now, and for those that are listening, also that this is good stuff for outside of the lodge as well. I mean, apply this to anything: the Elks, the Rotary, your church, your community service, whatever thing you're doing, city council, all these things, planning and zoning commission, all these things. There's certain dates that have specific things tied to them that you should know about. Like in our lodge, our community is, Goliad is a historical community. There's lots of events that happen around the Goliad massacre, as well as other things that led up to and followed that event. And so you want to have those things on there also, because that's going to take away from your draw.
Yep.
No matter what it is, if it's going to take away from your draw, it needs to be on your calendar so you're aware and you're not competing with those things.
And there's nothing worse than getting the ball rolling on an event and realize you're going to be conflicting with something else.
Yes, especially something big.
I had a conversation with a brother, and I'm not naming any names, but he was concerned because they're putting together a speaker at their lodge, and it's a pretty prominent speaker. And it just so happens that it's going to be on September 16th. And so some of the people that are worried, some of the people that are putting it together are worried, like, hey, you got this other big event that's going to be happening in the state on that same day. And
it's a state draw. It's not just a
draw. So I was like, it is what it is. But it's granted, you probably would, most cases up until this year, you probably wouldn't have put our event on the calendar, right? So it's understandable. But once it starts to become a norm, then yeah, probably. But it's just
and also if one's been advertised a lot longer than the other, then you should also show respect for that, because it's not something that's just easily undone, and it's almost being pompous, like, your event's more important than this other thing. And not that
in this case, it's
not that we're saying
it was a
right,
genuine...
but I'm just saying that happens a lot within our fraternity, that you get this, I think Blue Lodge is more important than the festival or the reunion or whatever. So I'm going to have my event that day anyways, and I want all my officers there. And we just miss the boat sometimes when we do that kind of thing. So I'm just saying, and I'm not saying this that I'm the expert. I'm saying this that I've made that mistake on different things.
Well, you want to avoid as much conflict as possible. Will that always happen? No, right? But like Masonicon has been happening for like the last 4 or 5 years, right? So
absolutely,
we would not have scheduled the summit the same day that we had Masonicon last year. Like we wouldn't do that. But like the summit until January 22nd, when we announced it, I think it was the 22nd, nobody knew, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for people that actually do plan, that were already on the ball. That's fair. I get it. All's fair in love and war.
Let's see. We got a few comments. We're getting a little behind on these. Let's see.
Okay. Go for it.
Oscar Cordova is going to do monthly birthday dinners, which, I mean, more power to you, man. I think that's great. I think at least a birthday cake at the lodge, right? If you got people,
might as well.
I mean, might as well. Just
we announced it
for everybody having a birthday that year.
That was one of the things that we announced at every meeting.
Most people have a birthday at least once a year.
Right. So we announced all the birthdays of that month and the Masonic birthdays of that month every month. Yeah. So that everybody knew.
I think that's just in good taste if you can do it, right? It takes a little planning, but if you have members of your lodge that are having a birthday, even if they're not there, maybe announce it. I mean, you don't have to have a cake, but at least announce it, make it known, especially if the guy's not there, especially if you don't see him often. All the more reason to be sure everybody knows this guy has a birthday. Maybe give him a call.
Right. Exactly.
Let's see.
Speaking of birthday,
from El Paso's here. Thank you for coming back, brother.
Hey, speaking of birthdays, I want to thank everybody and all the people that were on Facebook and all the different formats. I really felt so much love for my birthday, and thank you, Justin, for putting it on Masonic Improvement as well. And what's amazing is that there was more love from people I didn't expect than people I would have thought. And of course they did eventually, but I'm just saying I was surprised, and thank you. I just wanted to thank everybody. That was awesome. And that's going to Justin's point, getting a happy birthday from people you really didn't expect, man, that's awesome.
Mhm.
It's awesome.
Yep.
It makes you feel good. I don't care who you are.
So Zach has purchased Morals and Dogma as per the Facebook page suggestion.
Yeah, he told me.
Let's see, ashamed to then read they tore Pike's statue down in DC. He's still stuck on the first page, very rich text. Yeah, the thing about Pike. Pike is like a really nice dark beer, right? You don't just chug it, if that makes sense. You gotta take a sip, let it digest, then take another sip.
Yeah.
You gotta pace yourself with it. So I haven't read through
Right.
all of Morals and Dogma because I want
It's
to
like a scotch.
I would like to wait until I get the degrees personally, but I have started it before, and it's like you're describing. Like you got to read a few paragraphs, and just kind of sit back and be like, what did I just read?
That's exactly right.
What
That's exactly
what
right.
did he even just say?
And that's what I was telling him, is wait until you go through the degrees. You can read it, but when you go through the degrees, read it again, because then you'll be able to put the pieces together, because it's got profound stuff in there. But until you go through the degrees, you don't really know exactly how that fits into the degree, and you won't catch it while you're watching the degree. You just won't, because the degrees are too cool by themselves.
I would personally, if non-Mason was asking me, like they're going to join and they want something to read before they get in, just to kind of wet the whistle, I'd probably suggest something like Secret Teachings of All Ages or something like that. It's esoteric. It doesn't go so deep in anything that you go down any rabbit holes, but it's it's kind of it's like a Morals and Dogma light, I think. It's like a lighter version.
I agree.
Olivier, Adam Olivier says, Justin, are you a member of the Scottish Rite? Not yet. I have not received the Scottish Rite degrees yet. I'm hoping to go. Hopefully this summer, Dallas will have a reunion or something, and I could attend. I'm really fingers crossed, because that would work out best. I would like to. Gene says, in my opinion, at least you should know the basics of Kabbalah to understand a few things that he is saying. Yeah, and
Right.
I mean, I would even
On some of the degrees, for sure.
yeah. I think really.
But
nice.
it comes with it, though, because as you read it, you get a taste of these different aspects. You have to go and dig into other things. So I agree that, well, you don't have to have a basic understanding, but it'll help. But once you get to it, dig into whatever it spurs in your mind. Go down that rabbit hole, not too deep. Just go down it just to wet your whistle, and then come back, and because it really does add to it.
If you were to spend time to learn everything you needed to know to fully understand Albert Pike, the first time you read any of his books, you would dedicate a lifetime to studying Kabbalah, Hermeticism, alchemy, astrology. I'm sorry. By the way, Zach Smith has sent $25 to you, Dennis, for your birthday. Get you some beers.
Oh my goodness! Thank you so much.
Yes.
Get you some what?
It says get you some birthday beers, Dennis.
Oh, definitely. Thank you so much.
Happy
I appreciate that.
Birthday. Thank you, Zach. Always
Awesome.
appreciate.
Yes, thank you.
Nice. But yeah, man, this has been good.
Zach is talking about, he's been looking at properties down here in Texas, because with his job he can move anywhere. So I'm just saying, if that happens, just let me know. I'll tell you which areas are the best places to live in Texas.
Well, I knew he
not
mentioned
Hillsboro.
it. I just figured he was kind of joking. But yeah, not Goliad. Don't move the Goliad. Especially from New York, you'll be like, where is everybody?
Right.
Adam Olivier says,
Might be too quiet to sleep.
Esoterica by Pike is the book to read. It isn't so dense.
Yes.
And more easy to follow, and it's about the Blue Lodge degrees. I'm gonna have to check out.
It's the first 3. Yes, it's about the first 3. I love Esoterica. It's one of my favorite books.
If you ask 20 Masons what book to read, you'll get 20 answers.
Yes,
unless it's in the Bible Belt, then you'll get 20 different ways of saying the Bible. But
First Corinthians.
yeah. Jason says if you go through the Scottish Rite in San Antonio in October, you might get to see Dennis in a kilt. See, the issue is every time I do a Zoom with Dennis, he tries to show off his butt, and I really don't want to get around him in a kilt.
That's funny because that's what happened at the very beginning. That's what happened at the very beginning when you weren't looking, and I
see what I'm talking about, this guy.
Oh my gosh, that's
wow. Zach Smith says, I don't fit in New York, that's for sure. I prefer 50 acres in the middle of nowhere. I'm telling you, man, East Texas, Piney Woods, there's plenty in the middle of nowhere out there.
Oh, there's a lot of
You're in Central Texas too.
In honestly. A lot of places in Texas, really. There really is.
Yeah. You can get some nice land just outside of Waco, 50, 100 acres. Yeah. I mean, Waco's a pretty good sized town, but once you're outside of Waco, it's country until you get to like the Metroplex if you head north, or until you get to
well, the same way to Austin. I mean, it's it's an hour and a half to Austin, and same thing.
I mean, you still got to go through Temple and Killeen if you head south, but once you're out of that.
Well, and if you go like this in either direction from 35, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Everything's just right along 35, so it's.
And I really like, maybe it's just nostalgia, but I really like between
San Antonio.
No, between Austin and Killeen, like not off 35, but like some of the side highways. Because I always take side highways to kind of avoid a lot of traffic in Austin and stuff. But like the country, once you get in that area, it's beautiful. It's
rolling hills, man. It's beautiful.
Exactly, rolling hills. If you go in the spring, it's nice and green. It's like, man, this is, and there's some small towns out there, like small towns. It's like, man, this is a cool little town out here. Let's see. Scott Bradson says, I had In Search of Light by Bob Davis suggested me for reading on the first 3 degrees. In Search of Light.
In Search of Light.
See what I'm saying? Like you start talking books.
You
get 20
exactly.
20 different Masons.
Well, that's cool though. That's another book. I think I might have that, and I just hadn't read it yet.
Wow.
In Search of Light. It seems like I've heard that before.
Robert Davis. Or Bob Davis.
Or maybe it's Light and Masonry or something like that.
Maybe for some good light reading.
By Bob Davis. Yes. In Search of Light by Bob Davis. I'm going to go look real quick. I'm listening. I'm still on.
Man, I'm sorry, guys. I'm so disappointed in him. He's got all these books he hadn't read. He's just building a collection.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I've already forgot more than you'll ever know, sir.
Oh, because you're 100 years old. Let's see. Gene says, no, I meant Kabbalah, Jewish esoteric, the Tree of Life, the Sephiroths, but you are right. He's talking about everything at the same time. Esoteric, astrology, liberal arts. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like he was so well-rounded. We're talking about Albert Pike. He was so well-rounded.
Yes, yes.
I mean, he dedicated a lot of time to writing these things before he even started. I'm sorry, he dedicated a lot of time to research and study before he even started writing.
But you also have to keep in mind he did the research and study of the time, and so not everything is 100% as we know it today.
Yeah.
Because we've learned new things. But I mean, what an innovator! And he also says in Morals and Dogma that he's not the authority, that he's just there to motivate you to think.
Well, one of the biggest criticisms I've heard against like Pike and Manly P. Hall and these older. Manly P. Hall is not terribly old, but a lot of the older authors, Masonic authors,
like Mackey,
is that there's no citations, right? It's just
right.
Take my word for it. So things it's hard to really follow up on any sources and verify any information because there's not any. There's no sources.
Well, and that's one of the things that's cool about Morals and Dogma is that there's not a lot of citations unless you get the one with that Art de Hoyos did, and which that's the one that I study with is the annotated version by Art de Hoyos, but it's known that back then they would cut pieces out of a book or whatever and paste it to their paper and then take it to print because they wanted this thought in there and they couldn't articulate it any better. They just thought that was the right way it needed to be said. And so different authors of the day would do that without the citations. You're absolutely right. They would do that without the citations. And so a lot of even Morals and Dogma is a lot of other people actually their books. It's a lot of their actual sayings and not actually Pike that's writing it in a bunch of it. So yeah, you're right. You touched on something important that a lot of people will harp on about the old authors. And that was common practice back then.
Yeah. Scott Bratson says, for Scottish Rite reading, is this a typo? Journey of the Elu to Enlightenment. ELU.
Oh, no, that's not a typo.
What is the Elu?
That's a person in one of the degrees, or actually several of the degrees.
Oh, okay.
That's a journey of it's the member elect. That's what the Elu is. So that it's the journey of that person through the degrees.
Okay.
And that's a good one.
That's also by Bob Davis. I've never heard of that term. Probably because
I even like Bridge to Light, and I've been upset about how he's talked bad about Pike in several instances, but at the same time, Hutchins has so many good things that he's contributed to Freemasonry, and Bridge to Light is one of them. He really breaks down the degrees pretty nicely.
Interesting.
Yeah, now that's a Morals and Dogma light right there, because it is specific to the Scottish Rite degrees. I like it a lot. In fact, that's the book that we give with when somebody becomes a member down in San Antonio. We actually give a Bridge to Light to the new candidate as part of their thing. When you join Scottish Rite, it's different than other organizations. You get your hat, you get your ring, you get your book. Now, some valleys they give something else instead of the ring itself, but you actually get a lot more than just the degrees when you go through it. You're getting the tools to become a 32nd degree Mason in full.
Let's see. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we're at, not to change the subject, but we are at 17 viewers right now, which is really high for one of our lives. Please
very
be sure
cool.
to drop a like, is what I'm getting at. It helps with the algorithm, helps to build momentum, which we talked about in the last video, right? Momentum's good. So the more people on the same course, the greater the momentum. So definitely would appreciate any likes. If you're new here, please give us a subscribe also.
Yeah, absolutely. And what are people saying? What other questions?
It's just, I'm not going to repeat that to Dennis. I don't want to hurt his feelings. No, it's nothing really. Let's see. They're talking about Elu a little bit. Jason says Elu means elect, and the 14th degree, a terminal degree, is perfect Elu, and so that's really something other than books. If you like presentations, I would give Masonic Rubicon Society a look on YouTube. What? I've never heard of this.
Nice.
Rubicon Society.
Yes, what a nugget. Thank you. Who said that?
I think it was Scott Bratson. Let's see. Yep, Scott Bratson.
Nice. Thank you. Masonic Rubicon. I'm always listening to something on online because I'm always driving and I cannot sit with my own thoughts or I will go crazy. That's why Justin's half nuts now because he has to listen to me.
I can imagine that drive you crazy. Dan Best says, first of all, Zach Smith got gifted a membership. So, yeah, if you hop on regularly and you like, we lost a few memberships because the gifted membership, like the time elapsed, and I guess they decided not to keep it up. My point is, if you're interested in a gifted membership, Zach Smith just gifted one. Thank you, Zach. Definitely appreciate that.
Yes, thank you so much. Pick it up, brother.
Yeah,
whoever gets it first gets it.
Oh, Gene got it. Awesome. Welcome, Gene.
Nice.
Check out the members stuff, the members only section on YouTube. There's a ton of good stuff on there.
Yes.
Oh, what was I
and there are different levels of membership for you guys that aren't, y'all don't listen very regularly. It's not like you have to have top membership to get to members only stuff. I mean, you get that straight out of the gate. It's just different levels of information as you go.
Even if you do the quote unquote lowest tier, like $2.99 a month, that gets you ad free content. Like everything's ad free. I mean,
yeah. And then we also have, and it goes to all members, we have our members only events to where we just speak with the members and we get quite candid sometimes and
quite,
and it gets fun. It's members only.
Yeah. So that even if you $1.99 a month, I mean, you still have access to that. Down the road, we'll probably do like booster and hire for some stuff. Just, I mean, they're paying more. It's only fair that they should have some more exclusive stuff.
Absolutely.
But, you get a lot. I think it's a good deal. Let's see. Dan Best says, I have a question for you. Do you get specific rings with different degrees in Freemasonry? I heard somebody talking about this, and unfortunately, I can't find out for myself right now. Long answer, no. Not for Blue Lodge. Do they exist? Yes, they do exist. But you're not given any rings. Like you're not awarded a ring when you get your master's degree. It's not like Scottish Rite or anything like that where you get rings and stuff. There are variations that are.
And there's only one ring in Scottish Rite. It's not like there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, there are variations that are appropriate for different degrees, but I mean, if you're looking at dropping a couple $100 on a ring for a degree that you're only going to be in for, depending on your lodge, 3 months to a year, it's not most people don't spend the money on that. They just wait till they're Master Mason to get a Master Mason ring. So I hope that's helpful. James Kirkpatrick says he's here. He's late. He didn't know it was happening tonight. Well, James, we lost our Facebook page temporarily, so we don't have a way to blast the information out right now. So I think Dennis did post on Texas Freemasons, though, didn't you?
I did.
We're gonna be leaning heavily on that website and YouTube, and also the Quarry.
Well,
website.
and the Quarry.
Yeah,
and the Quarry.
Yeah. So, but
in thoughts of James, I had 2 tacos for dinner tonight, and I did not think of you at the time, but I'm thinking of you now. They were really good. Crunchy tacos. I like crunchy tacos.
Scott Bradson says, Brother Olivier and I joined an episode on Monday at the lodge.
Oh, very cool.
Joined an episode. What do we do Monday? Oh, he's talking about just listening to one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
Let's see.
We've talked about that. About, having, for people that are out in the country, having a TV in either your room or your dining room or even in the lodge and showing a presentation from a good podcast. And it doesn't have to be but having a good podcast presentation or even so on Light Accounting 101 when it comes time to start talking about, what dues should really cost and stuff like that and how to get to the bottom of it, whatever it is. But you can have those presentations or even have a live Zoom with a speaker to present to your lodge that is 1,000 miles away.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
And
That's
this
awesome.
YouTube channel
I'm
that was
honored that you.
shared, like the Masonic Rubicon Society, they got lots of good topics.
Yes,
However, they're like an hour and a
yes,
half
I've already.
long, so most of them. That's part of the reason I like condensing some of these things because, like I think a 15-minute, 20-minute video is more conducive to watching in lodge or in like a small educational setting than like hour and a half in a lot of
Right, but
cases.
we have the long ones for the full members, and
Yeah, I
then
mean,
we break it down for easy viewing.
true. I mean, yeah, I mean, the members do have access to the full videos. I just I don't see most Masons sitting and watching an hour and a half video. You might have to pause it and watch it
Right,
like
right.
the
That's not
next
going to
week or
happen.
something. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's not going to happen.
yeah.
You could just take a short and just get everybody upset and then just start talking about it. That would last an hour
There we go.
and a half.
Oh, I live
That's
Adam.
awesome.
Adam says he's joined late. Did the Facebook page get reported or something? Don't really know, Adam. What day was that? Saturday morning. I
Yes.
woke up and was doing my morning stuff, and I had the only thing that I had was a notification on Facebook saying Masonic Improvement has been unpublished. That's all. That's all it said. And it's like, oh, okay, what is this about? And so I clicked it, and it said, hey, yeah, we unpublished you due to continued community standard violations. And of course, then it says below, hey, you have no community standard violations. Good job, keep it up. And so I was confused, and I put in an appeal because I have never received a community standard violation for
Right.
for the Facebook page.
I haven't even on my personal,
Yeah, me
so
either.
that's
But apparently we have continued community violations all of a sudden. So we're going to have to see how that pans out. So yeah, the Facebook page is down, and hopefully not out, but it is down. I did put a lot of work in that Facebook page, so I'll be very disappointed if it's out. But thing about Sonic Improvement is
there's a lot of time in it.
there's a lot of time in it. There's years of time in it, but we'll recover. We'll rebound. I mean, it's not a big of a it's an inconvenience because we got so much information out through it, right? But as far as like sharing stuff, most of like with YouTube, most of the video shares views came from like sharing it to like Texas Freemasons and Reddit and stuff like that. So
Well, and we have a new website that's going to be made, and we can actually start sharing our YouTube videos on it, so that can be the go-to instead of Facebook to get the links,
that'd be fantastic.
and that can be gone to instead of having to go to YouTube, so that you go to our page to get our content, and then it'll go to YouTube, of course, but it'll be from our page.
That'd
That
be
way,
great.
we don't have to worry about that stuff. That's man, I am so grateful, so grateful.
Yeah,
We have some of the best members that I could ever hope for, really.
oh, absolutely. Like we got some of the greatest guys in Texas, not just in Texas.
Yeah, in
We
the
got some of the
nation.
greatest guys in the nation. Yeah, as members and regulars here. So definitely very grateful. But that's the thing. Like you know if you're on the right track because the right people show up. If
Yes.
that makes sense.
Well, and yes, and not only that, but it just proves what the brotherhood is really supposed to do, and that's supposed to support each other and lift each other up, and get things done, and not constantly say you can't do that.
I was talking to my wife about the summit, and she's like, "How are you getting all this stuff together? Like, how are you getting all this organized?" And I've talked about that in the last video or video before last. I was like, "This Dennis. Dennis is doing it." Like when we first started talking about the summit, I told Dennis, I was like, "I'm gonna have to rely heavily on you because I just simply do not have the time, especially with everything all my current obligations in Freemasonry and with Masonic Improvement, like the stuff I already do for it. It's like I do not have the time to organize it like it needs to be done." Anyway, so well, it's like how is it that you find people like this? Like why is he doing all this for you? It's like It's like it's like, first of all, it's not for me, right? It's for us and it's for the fraternity. But if you're on the right track and if you're doing the right things, the doors open themselves up for you, I think. And so,
Well, and that's the beauty of this is that most of these guys, they're our pals, man.
yeah.
They're the guys we go to. They're our hangouts. You
But
know, that's
this is also why I really like the Facebook page. It really aggravated me, but I'm not mad anymore because, frankly, if it kind of tells me we're on the right track, I think. Like if we're doing stuff that makes Facebook mad, we're probably on the right track. so so I was like, how can I be mad about that? Because somewhere
well, you
along the
can't
line,
please everybody.
somewhere along the line, it would have happened anyway. It was bound to
Yeah.
happen, especially as we're getting more into men's development and things like that. Like I said earlier, it's a platform with its own viewpoint. It doesn't necessarily coincide with kind of the direction we're going, and so it was
Right.
bound to happen eventually.
And when the scary thing and all the double-edged sword there is that it doesn't. Our views and opinions are ours. They're not of any Grand Lodge or anything like that. So there's things if we don't believe that folks in the Grand Lodge are doing something that is proper or not even proper, but just if we don't think that it's right, we're going to say it's not okay. We don't think it's right. But at the same time, when they do get something right, we should also be there to applaud them and say, yeah, these things are being done right. And there are so many things that are being done right in our fraternity. And that's why when we started the show tonight, I wanted to talk about some of the things that I loved about our fraternity because of that reason.
Yeah.
We can't always think about the negatives. We need to think about the positives and where we can go with those positives.
Well, this is Masonic improvement, right? So it's I guess it's natural to focus on the things that need improvement, right? And usually that means that we're kind of looking at the bad things.
Right.
However,
You have to identify it.
It's important to have gratitude and recognize the good things, because if you're only looking at the things that are bogging you down, the negative stuff, it's easy to get overwhelmed by it, right? Because that's all you're seeing. It's like, man, all these bad problems, why do I even mess with this organization at all? But
Right.
so to your point, like, it is important. Like, hey, well, I really enjoy this and really enjoy that, and this is important to me, and this is why I do it. So it's important to have a why, right? That keeps you grounded,
Right.
and keeps you on track.
What's really cool is some of the things that we talked about, and it's definitely not from us, but some of the things we've talked about, like utilizing technology and things like that, and making lodges more efficient. The things that we gripe about lodges not doing, Grand Lodge is setting the example right now. Justin Duty has moved this Grand Lodge more efficiently, and not just him, but the internet committees, all the people behind the scenes, everybody on his staff, all the people who supported him.
Mm-hmm.
And it took the trustees to get behind it as well to implement this stuff. But man, these guys, they are leading by example in that aspect. Our Grand Lodge is more efficient today than I would have ever imagined seeing it 10 years ago.
And Justin Duty has been on the show. It was a great episode. So,
Oh, it really was. Look that up.
Yeah, look it up if you want to learn more about Justin. I mean, it was a great time. I was gonna bring something up. Let me look real quick.
I apologize.
No, I saw it while you're talking 15 minutes ago. Sorry.
Yeah, when I started.
Oh, Jason Rockenberg says, I don't want to name names, but I think you got unpublished by someone whose name rhymes with Yenis dates. It's possible. No, I mean, it's possible. And to be honest with you, Dennis, I went back and deleted that last post just in case someone reviewed it and they saw that and that was a hang up. But
right.
But, I mean,
well, and I get it, but there wasn't really a whole lot negative with that.
No, and that's the thing. Like, if
it was just saying it's okay for men to be men.
And if we're being honest, if that is enough to get us kicked off, then yeah, it's definitely time to look into a website. It's just because that was harmless. Like I had to reread it a
Yes.
few times. Like, I guess someone could look at it this way. Some people are easily offended, right? So we
Yeah.
gotta, let's see. James Kirkpatrick says he's sad because the Boston Bruins lost the first round of NHL playoffs, but go Stars.
You know what, man? It's NFL draft day. It's draft weekend. I don't know where you are, but you need to have a few more tacos and watch the draft. This is Texas. You're in football country here. Not just kidding. I love the Stars.
Zach Smith says, yeah, we could definitely do a lot of fun stuff with the website. Making it from scratch allows us to do anything. Yeah, I really like that. I like that idea. It's
Yes.
probably time to shift that towards that. Gene says, you can see it in a positive way. Nobody throws rocks to a tree that has no fruits. That means you guys are doing a good job. Thank you, Gene. Appreciate
Thank you.
that.
Thank
And
you.
Scott
Appreciate
Bradson
that.
says, Justin has made many secretaries happy by making their job easier. Well, shucks. That's what I do. Well, life is all about balance, right? So I may make things easier, but Dennis makes it harder.
Absolutely.
That's why Jason has to give him so much crap, I think.
It's a love-hate relationship, right?
Great,
But that's okay. Yeah, Jason is the secretary of the year, and I definitely give him hell every chance I get. So, and he's not even my secretary. I just give him hell because I can.
James Kirkpatrick says if he wanted to watch 32 picks in one day, he'd watch Dak Prescott play a game.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Why do they keep him around? Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Dennis, we've been doing this almost an hour and a half, and it's 10:30.
Yeah, my rabbit's trying to chew my cord here. I'm going to eat that stupid thing if it doesn't stop.
The cord?
No, the rabbit.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, neither one surprises me, Dennis. But yeah, it's been about an hour and a half. It's been a great live, and we will definitely look at doing another members only Zoom soon, and probably even another members invitation to live like we did last time, because that was a good time too.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
that's
fun.
Things have been a little crazy, and losing the Facebook page kind of threw us off a little bit. So we'll get back on track with everything. But I appreciate everybody sticking through, and because I know we missed 2 weeks this month. We usually do it every week. So like Dennis said, I know some of y'all are kind of anxious. So I'm glad everybody came. This has been a really good time.
I was anxious, man. I'm chomping at the bits. I love our show. I love our members. I love our guests. I love our friends and brothers. This is my favorite time of the week every week. Sunday.
Yeah.
This is it. Yeah. Now I just got into copyright laws there. Sorry.
Oh man, Cesar Rubio just hopped in. Sorry, Cesar. We were actually wrapping up. He says, "What's up, brothers?"
Oh,
Cesar,
Masonic muscle.
I hope you listen to our next to last episode with the shout out. I really enjoyed your shout out to Masonic Improvement in your last episode, or the episode before last.
I know you loved it.
Yeah,
I know you loved it. I hope you loved my response, Caesar. Yeah. But we love you, Caesar, and all you brothers that are listening, and friends and brothers that are listening. Masonic Muscle is a very good podcast. He's all about your mind, your heart, your body. And that's important in life, because they all work together to get the message going. So, and it's some very good intellectual discussions that you have, and I love listening to it. So, keep up the good work there, brother. And I hope that everybody else will jump on and give you some love too.
Yeah, definitely check out this podcast. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for hopping in this evening, and we'll see you again next week.
Keep it between the points, brothers.